when I first started talking to Josie and Kenneth about this, I said, it just seems funny. Nikki and I have been in it about 5 years. And then I started the group Riding for Angels. And then I started getting texts from people going, well, I tried to do a ride and I only had 10 people. What weekend did you do it? Did it first Saturday in August. That's the Rams ride. A lot of people were trying to do first-time rides. They weren't looking at what's going on. The biggest thing I've noticed in 5 years, and a lot of you probably will, if you've been doing it very long, I've talked to Scott and talked to Nikki about it a lot. When 5 years ago, if you looked for a ride, you had a choice of maybe 4 or 5 rides on a Saturday to go to. Now, there's 5 rides in a Saturday just in your local area. How many were here at last year's meeting? Remember how many hands went up when I said who has a ride in May? And then we went down to May 5th and still half the room had their hands up. So I got thinking and brainstorming. I thought, why don't we come together and start brainstorming about our rides, because we do it for what? For what reason? Charity. We're not competing against each other. We're trying to do it for one cause. And I noticed this summer, something we'll talk about later, this summer there was 4 different rides for cancer. Now, if it's for an individual, if you're doing it for a relative, I get it. But if you're doing a cancer ride, where's the money going? Cancer, right? So if 4 of you in 1 month are trying to have a cancer ride, you could literally sit down at a table and organize. Instead of each of you having 10 bikes, you might get 20 to 30 bikes. The biggest thing is organization, looking at what you're doing. And at some point, we have to come together, because what we're doing is we're just out there all trying to do the same thing, but we're competing against each other. That makes sense? Saying the older generation is starting to fall off. We need to get the younger generation more involved in what we're doing. Turn some of the rides over to them. Get them more involved to help. But I strongly encourage you that if you see 3 or 4 more rides that are for the same cause, would it really hurt to unite with that group and get it going? I mean, honestly, because I don't see anything else but more and more rides popping up. This year alone, more and more last minute rides popped up. I know we did one at the very last minute. Those are important too. The bigger rides are still important. And the other thing I'll encourage you to do too is think about Sundays. You hardly see any rides on Sunday. Yes, I know it's church morning, but today's church. That's why we did the meeting at 1 o'clock. On Sundays, if you're doing a charity ride and you plan it, say, do registration at 1 o'clock and you're going to have your kickstands up at 2, it doesn't have to be a 150 mile ride. You can do a nice ride, have everybody done, and be out by 5 o'clock. And then you've opened yourself for more riders. Something else we thought about this year is, how many of you went to a ride for a person, donated money, never saw the person, never really knew what happened with the money after that? That's probably 80% of the time. You might see a picture, you might hear a story about the person, but after that, it falls through the cracks. One thing that I have tried to do is make sure that in some form or way that I've stayed in contact with the people that we've done rides for. I have 2 people. We always do the Rupert's ride. Then the last 2 years, we've picked up Steel Horse Thunder ride. And then a certain person in our organization and family can't seem to say the word no. It was in March of this year, and somebody texted me and said, hey, did you hear what had happened up at Fountain Square? And I'm like, no. So we saw it on the news. They're like, can you do anything? Like, man, we ride bikes. It's March. They're like, please. I'm like, all right, see what we can do. So we knew we only had a short time to get that done because, in all honesty, there was some serious doubts at that time. And so we bumped the ride up. We planned it for a Saturday, March. Everybody's like, oh, first ride of the year. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be like 43 degrees. We'll see how well that works. So, I created an event for it. And showed a couple people here and there, and people are like, do you know what the weather's going to be? My response was cold. It's March. Get your bike out. I ride mine year round. It won't kill you. And that day, we had 85 bikes show up. Not only that, I can at least tell you, and I know watching Steel Horses, that's a nice thing with, and we're gonna have them talk later, when they film this, Nikki and I were there watching, like, that patch, that color, that patch, that patch. That is probably the first ride I've seen in 5-6 years where there were so many different patches and colors that showed up. And so what happened? Well, we've got Josh's mom here today, and we're gonna have her up and talk a little bit, give us a little update on Josh, what the ride, and mainly what the ride did. This is important, guys. This is one thing of what the meeting's about. We may not be able to get them all here, but down the future of this meeting, I would love for each group that does a ride to be able to have someone up. And something more important is don't forget your sponsors. The people that make things happen, get them more involved, let them know what happens. But we do it not just to give these people money, but we do it to help change lives.
Thank you. Okay, if you were there that day, my husband spoke, and he's an extremely well-spoken person. So I had him write what he wanted me to say today. Okay, so my name's Kelly. Our friend John asked Rico and I if one of us would come and speak today, and we were very happy to do so. Me a little nervous. If you don't know the story of what happened to my son, he was attacked by a stranger with a 2x4, and he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury. We just really want to give you guys a big thank you for all the brave souls that turned out on that really chilly March day. It was overwhelming. And not just the writers, but also the folks behind the scenes that helped in every aspect of making that ride happen. After many surgeries and many months in ICU and months in, thank you, in inpatient rehab, Josh is finally home with us. He's recovered a limited amount of consciousness. He's still nonverbal and needs constant care, but he's alive, and that's a miracle. Many of the things that Josh needs and requires are not covered by insurance. So the money that you guys raised for us, which by the way was a little over $6,000, which is, I think, way more than anybody anticipated, definitely helped. But what was really impactful to us was the moral support that we gained that day. If any of you are here to learn about the benefit ride, what it provides, and are debating if this is something worth getting involved with, I can assure you that it is well worth it. When we saw that outpouring of support, not just from our friends, but people we've never met before, it helped heal our hearts of the mistrust of others and the hatred of the unfair and what seemed uncaring world. The bitterness we were carrying could have easily consumed us, if not for what we witnessed that day. You guys really started the healing process for us. To be involved in something like this is a win-win, in my opinion. You get to enjoy the ride. It might not have been real enjoyable that day, but you get to be with the caring, like-minded people that you guys gathered together. It really did make a difference. It really doesn't have to be some Herculean effort or monumental gesture to ease the heart and mind of somebody who is suffering. The mere set act of being present and supportive is enough to help start the healing process And when this is done in numbers, it is a powerful and beautiful thing. Believe me, we know. Thank you. Okay, I have to say, so that's what he wanted me to say. I wanted to add to that a little bit. The reason he's not here today is because that money did help. When you wonder where the money goes, it helped us buy a van so that we don't have to worry about transporting him. And today, the reason that Rick is not here, saying the words himself, is they're putting in a lift system that we were able to buy because of the money you guys raised. Thank you.
So then in April, I follow all the groups. I'm on Johnson County Motorcycles. Actually, I was privileged to become an admin there. And I saw that Eric, the one that had organized the group, founded it, made it happen, organized a lot of rides and stuff, was in very bad health. Actually had little time to live, and his wife had reached had reached out and said, would somebody do a ride by? Oh, man, no. No, yes. So I got in contact with her. I said, what are you looking for? She said, when we get him home from the hospital, we'd like to have him out on the porch and just have some bikes go by. I'd probably make that happen. So as we stayed in contact, the time got less and less. As a matter of fact, it was on a Thursday that I put out an event, guys, I need everybody, in 2 days, period dot. That day, we had over 80 bikes. We were at the Rural King in Greenwood, and I thought, I changed the date, I made it last minute, and the bikes just flooded in. We had the whole entire block surrounded. So I asked Stephanie if she'd come up and talk to us for a little bit.
Well, I'm already crying. Jeez. Okay. So this is my husband. I'm sure a lot of you probably know him. So I am Stephanie Brackett. I am Eric Brackett's wife. So a little backstory. Eric and I got our first Harley in August of 15. It was a Sportster and we liked it, but it was kind of small. So in January of 16, we took the Sportster to have the battery checked and rode away on a 2012 Electric Glide Classic. Which we lovingly named Big Booty Judy. Eric wanted people to ride with, so we started the group Johnson County, Indiana Motorcycle Riders. We met some amazing friends, now turned family, from that group. On January 12th, 2023, Eric was at Kroger and felt a little off. He ended up having 2 grand mal seizures and was taken to St. Francis. They ran all kinds of tests and came back as small lesions on his brain. The lesions turned to tumors, and he had brain surgery on May 2nd, 2023. The tumors came back as stage 4 glioblastoma, a very aggressive brain cancer. Eric was a trooper and did his 6 weeks of chemo and radiation. After a short break, he went back to 1 week a month chemo for 6 months. At his scan in November, it showed the tumors were back despite the chemo. The treatment plan was changed to a weekly infusion to try to keep things at bay and give him the best quality of life. We got through Christmas and started the new year, but I could tell things were taking a toll on him. In March, he started falling. Due to the seizures, he couldn't drive, which also meant no riding. I had a class ring style Judy ring made for him when we first got Judy. I joked that at his surgery, he took his wedding ring off before the Judy ring because he loved her more. I had the brilliant idea of doing a ride by our house to show Eric all the love of our biker family. We planned it for my birthday, April 7th. John saw my post in our group and knew the circumstances and insisted I let him take over and plan it all. On Friday, March 29th, we went to Eric's weekly appointment, and his doctor let us know we would not be continuing treatment and he would be placed on hospice. Easter Sunday, he was admitted into their care. I let John know that I wasn't sure that Eric would know everyone was there as he was sleeping more and more. John assured me he would definitely know. So on Sunday, April 7th, I wheeled Eric's hospital bed to the front door to prepare for everyone to ride by. He was mostly unresponsive by that point. I was on the front porch as everyone rode by with tears streaming down my face. My husband was the most giving, joyful, happy person I ever met. And he would give the shirt off of his back. Knowing that everyone came out to show love to my husband and wrap my kids with loving arms was so much to process. Multiple people went in to see Eric and talk to him. Every single person who went in to see him told me the same thing. His eyes were closed, but he had tears on his face. He absolutely knew everyone was there for us, and he knew that the kids and I would be okay once he left us. I had told him a few days prior that he had been so brave and fought so hard and it was okay to rest. He opened his eyes enough to tell me that he loved me too and wasn't ready. I told him again after the ride by that evening. My beautiful husband left us at 5:40 a.m. on Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. 15 months after his fight started, he went peacefully with the kids and I by his side. After everyone had ridden by, John came up and hugged me and gave me money and told me not to argue with him. That money helped out in those first few weeks so much. It helped with food deliveries, it helped with gas to shuttle the kids around, it paid some of our utilities. As ready as I thought I was to lose him, I was not. I mourned each time he had another setback. I mourned the life we will never have when he was first diagnosed. The money that was donated to us made a huge difference in the blur of those first few weeks, and my children and I thank you so much. And my kids are right over there. Thank you for letting me ramble on about my amazing husband. It has been 6 months since he left us. We are doing okay. We still miss him like crazy, and some days it doesn't seem real. But thank you again for loving my family.
Trying to figure out what to say. Sometimes I get in trouble for not saying no. It's moments like that that make me realize why we do what we do today. And that's why we're here today. Yes, we give to cancer awareness, we give to a lot of it, but it's the one-on-one. We do not realize how much we impact people's lives. So we're in it together. It's a charity group, it's a charity organization. There may be a lot of different patches here, but what I look at is I look out and I see brothers and sisters in one cause. That's exactly what I see today. As far as Nikki and I and Riding for Angels, we did Rupert's ride. Saw 2 of the rides. We did, I think, 6 rides this year. The ones we plan for next year is Rupert's ride. My wife and I, this will be our 6th year for that. That will be in June. We do not have the exact date yet, but we usually work in conjunction with my brothers, the Outsiders, because that's usually their big weekend for a ride. But it will be in June again. We'll get that posted. And I want to take a quick second. That's one of the things I forgot about in the notes. One of the reasons we're here too, guys, is that rides are growing and growing and growing. Okay? Stay on top of it. And what I mean about that is, I know that Randy already has the date for the bomb pit. I know the Outsiders are already thinking about their dates. Get your dates out early, because I've noticed last year, Nikki and I had Rupert's. We created an event. You don't have to so much have the cost of starting in the Indian place, but hey, guess what's coming in 2025? Rupert's ride is going to happen again. Get it out there early, because I'm telling you, by the time you get it out there at the end of April, the end of May, you're already up against 4 or 5 other rides that very day. So the sooner you can get your information out, if you look out and you pick a date and go, man, I'm going Rupert rides that day, or the Rams ride, whatever ride that day, my ride's a little smaller, maybe I can go to a Sunday. Or maybe I can get with them, see what you can do about it. Getting your information out there as quick as possible, and utilize social media. I encourage you to create events. A lot of people do flyers. Steel Horse Thunder is very good about sharing them. Iron sharpens iron, a lot of them will do it. But when you get the event, even if you don't have the total number of people that are going to show up, you have an interest, you have those that's going, but you have a lot of detail on there, and you've given people the opportunity to give you feedback. They can say, hey, so what's this ride actually going for? Or if it, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we bring a Jeep? It just takes all the paperwork out of the way and centralizes it into that event. And it doesn't take very long at all to create an event. Get that event created as soon as you can. Then come April, hey, we're going to be starting here. We're going to be stopping here. So I'm saying you build your event as you get closer to it. Then this is what, hey, we got a big surprise for you. We got a big meal here. Hey, we got even a bigger surprise now. We got a free band. All you have to do is get that event out there and get it in people's minds, because a lot of people look at a calendar and say, hey, I want that one. They put it on their calendar. A flyer may come across in front of them, but they've already made plans to go to that ride. So it makes a huge impact. And I think I know a lot of it. That's kind of where Nikki and I stand for this year, is just I think we're still in plans of doing the Steel Horse ride again. So Rupert's ride, June. And then Steel Horse Thunder, and that will be our 2 rides for the year.
For those of you not familiar with CMA, CMA is a Christian Motorcyclists Association, and then I got some of my brothers with me back there. We are the Indianapolis chapter, Cornerstone Riders, and basically CMA is we serve the biker community. We're here to serve. We're here when you need us. We come alongside events. John found out that we have a trailer and we'll serve coffee and donuts, so we were able to help out a couple rides John was involved with, and I was really impressed with John at the what was the name of the ride in July?
Santa's Closet.
Santa's Closet. I mean, it was 95 degrees and he still wore the Santa suit, and probably needed an IV at the end of the day, didn't he? So, but we like other ministry groups in here, we get out and come alongside other groups and events. Whether we can serve coffee, we do bike blessings, any opportunity to talk and pray with bikers. That's what we're out here to do. Also our state, in our state of Indiana, we have over 20 chapters, and we also have a state leadership team, and they, we set up at the Boogie every year, serving coffee and water and 24 hours a day. So whenever somebody needs a coffee, we're there. But nationally, we have over 1,100 chapters, and we have one main event, or I should say, we have one main ride a year that we do fundraising around, and that's always the first Saturday in May, and that's been going on for about 37 years, so that date is not movable. That actually comes down from the national charter, but that's really a celebration of funds that we raise to fuel our ministry, both nationally and globally. We've helped touch lives in over 194 countries. Last year we raised about $6 million, and we actually give 60% of it away to other ministries, ministries that give transportation, mostly motorcycles, to especially missionaries out in the wilderness where there might not be a lot of paved roads, and we also help organizations smuggle Bibles into countries where even possessing a Bible could get you executed. And also the Jesus Film Project, which has been, I don't know, Josh, you know how many languages that's been translated into? Probably 194, since we've touched people in 194 different countries. But at any rate, so we're here to help however we can help and serve wherever we can serve. And but we'll definitely be communicating information about our ride on May 3rd, 2025. Last year we started out of Southside Harley. We don't know if that's going to be where we can start again this year or not, but we would love to have as many of you as possible join us. And as we get to know more and more about things that you're doing, we love to get involved, and we look forward to a great 2025. I'll share some flyers. We have a chapter meeting, our Indianapolis chapter, on the second Sunday of every month, and you don't need to be a CMA member to attend. You just want to come and spend an hour with us, understanding what's going on. Also share what's going on with you. That's how we learn best, is talking to each other. Because Facebook is great, but stuff like this and getting together is even better.
First of all, I also want to thank John, Ken, Josie. This thing is incredible, the way it's grown, and I can just see it growing from here. So welcome, everybody. We're the Gatekeepers chapter of the Indiana Widow Sons. There are 27 chapters of Widow Sons in the state of Indiana. We are a Masonic dependent group, which means we were all Freemasons. Our ride is set for the Autism Society of Indiana. It is Sunday, May 4th. This will be our 12th year doing it. This last year, thanks to a lot of you, we had 85 bikes and we raised over $9,600 for autism. So thank you. Like I said, we set it for May 4th, and we're looking forward to another great year with all y'all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marlena Evans. My husband is Derek Evans, and he is a widow son at Solomon's Guard, which is the Franklin chapter, and he was unable to make it today. So I'm here. His widow son's portion is having it's called a canine cruise-in. Saturday, August 9th, 2025. It's an escorted ride. It's endorsed by Police Chief Kirby Cochran. It does start at the Franklin Police Department and it ends at the Franklin Shrine Club. If there's any questions, there's purchase tickets or donations, but this ticket site won't go live, I was told, until January. But as we were told, we wanted to get the dates and everything in the books and calendars to share with everyone. Thanks. Awesome.
So, like I said, share, get together with your president, your vice president, your club. Try by middle February, end of February, I'm challenging you to have your rides out. Okay? Then I'm gonna get with Josie, and they'll get the emails together. We can get that. He can get that all down. It'll list all the rides and the dates. You can go down through there and go, man, there's 5 rides that Saturday. They're all within a 40-mile radius. I got time to bump that to a Sunday or pick another Saturday. It literally gives you, I said, get it out as early as you can. That's true if you have an annual ride. But if you're just working on rides and trying to build them, it gives you the opportunity to look at that calendar and go, well, my mind was set on that. But if I go against those 3 rides, I'm not gonna have anybody. So it gives you the opportunity to do it. So I appreciate everybody coming out.